All
Hola,
right.
welcome to Telemundo.
With
No, this is a
El
Cosmonarchy
Shambler.
cat.
That's right. This is a Cosmonarchy cast. It's our second attempt here. I am the Weed of God, and I'm joined with my co-caster here, the Shambler, well-known person. Shambler, who's playing today?
Today we have an ass hamster. What a lovely name. Who is Deep Periwinkle. Of course, there's the word winkle in there.
And deep.
Playing as Zerg versus Krankadow's Ascozy. His tea green Ascozy in the bottom right.
Yeah, I'm excited to see some more tech contain expand. I think the plan's all been laid out. Or Crank's just trying to figure out how to play Ascozy. He could have DM'd me. I am the number one Ascozy in the server currently, although Shop got further in the tournament, but I'm not going to let my narrative get bogged down by details. Starting out with a quick Radex, and it's going to be a fast expand or a scout. Okay. Second landlock should be in the base. There it is.
So is this a macro build weed? What is this? Tell
Yeah,
me.
I would say this is your standard macro play against the Zerg. Get the second landlock in the base so that you can pump proselytes when you need additional fighters, but you can also stay ahead when it comes to getting your economy up. And it's much faster to saturate your natural. It's a pretty solid build, and I would say it's something that probably should be standard for every matchup. It just depends on, if you get the gauntlet first or not.
And for our Zerg here, we have a fairly standard Larvosk timing with the pool on the way. Probably a second Larvosk as well that K-Grant going to turn into. Um, Nothing really unique to comment on here. We got gas continuing to be mined, but again, that's for that Larvosk there. We're going to see. The real question is this going to be Quaz or Lings? And it looks like it's going to be Quaz.
So you can see that Crank did put down an islet a little bit further up the ramp, which is a nice play because if Hamster decided to flood him a little bit and he had to retreat, he can use that to pull his army and put impact dissipation on them, which will give them an attack, a speed boost, but also block one incoming attack. So pretty important Ascozy tech. Every player does need to be doing it. Meanwhile, Hamster has put down an expansion of his own, so both players look like they're leaning towards more of a macro-oriented game type.
Yeah, I would actually say that Hamster got away with a significant bit of greed here because he only has 4 quads at this point, and Scozy ended up producing enough units to just absolutely body him if he had decided to go for some early pressure. Um, Now, of course, the Zerg is starting to catch back up in military rather rapidly
As
because
they
it's
do.
Zerg, but those extra workers I think are going to come in handy. Oh, we should mention that the map is Martyr's Ground, newly updated in accordance with the Crow Father's will.
I love that name. Who
So
made
we're
this
hoping to
map?
get a good map on that match on this.
I need to know
Yeah,
who made
Pro
this
says
map.
that you can always tell when it's a Shambler map based off the name, and I'm gonna take that as a sign that I'm epic at naming things.
I tend to agree, Shambler. And it is true. You can always tell a Shambler map. So we've got
So we have our Nat coming up here and saturated by the 5 workers that slaved away to build it. Around the same time, the Zerg is also getting their Nat up. Hamster setting up a colony, looking like it's going to be a Circuith for some tankiness. Scozy famously struggle with buildings.
now it's what's I like seeing right now. It's on the current iteration of the game. The Cardinals are the primary source of sustain, and they do last forever. They're a very good unit against Zerg. They can also leap forward, and they put armor penetration on a cluster of units that they leap at. So I'm happy to see that there's at least a couple of them in the mix. And here comes the Gauntlet and the Cypher, so it's looking like it might be a very fast Tier 2 switch.
Definitely a lot of bust potential with this Scozy army right now. But the thing is that he is not leveraging that position. Although, by the time, thanks to these scouting Zeths here, which Hamster's been very proactive to set up, by the time he did get across the map, having been spotted, Hamster likely would have countermeasures in place. Speaking of, we have a third coming up for the Zerg. Very fast, the expansions will be in this match because both races have very cheap expansions. The Escozi being actually a bit cheaper than the Flesh Monsters.
And we've got a 6 Quasilis drop just landed in Crankendown's main. So Hamster is quite known for his drop play. It's something that it's very much his style. And we're going to see how much he can get done with it. Crank's
Let's
army
see if
is...
this delay ends up biting him in the butt because that grandstand was so close to completion. But no, it looks like he has the wherewithal to snipe the worker that's building it, and now we're going to see some worker kills. So, very good outcome so far for our Zerg.
It's looking like he's already got 4 worker kills off that. The grandstand, quite good against Quasilisk. Had that been a second sooner, we wouldn't have seen nearly as much damage. But now Crank has potential for tier 2. He's got a Chantry coming up, a third Radex. He is starting into Vicar production. Meanwhile, Hamster has been keeping up with workers. Only just now do we see a flood of pool units, and he has the Hydrathan, which he's actually upgrading right now to the Ski Bath Scab, if I said that
Oh, I
correctly.
think we're going to see some Bactyls in that case. Big old horde of Hydras to punch through maybe any Cardinals, and then the Bactyls to just rip apart the Scozy shooters, the Vicars primarily.
Dactylists are pretty scary, speaking from an Escozy position. One thing that he could do is increase
10 at once, Jesus.
One thing he could do is increase his production of cardinals, because I think we are going to see that they're going to become very imperative in the new meta. And those 2 patrolling Zess, Crank caught them on the attack move, and so a portion of his army was decloaked. Hamster, now aware that he's coming, is set to receive him, but there's already 9 Bactylists on the field. Scozy is going to have a very, very difficult time dealing with this.
I bet Hamster felt very good seeing the size of that army with those 2 Zats. He knows that this is a fight he can definitely take. The artillery is just not there for our Scozy. He's pushing. Oh no, he needs to pull back. Now, luckily for the Scozy, they have quite a bit of mobility. So fighting retreat.
Nice
I don't know,
bounce.
not against Bactylis. The bounces become stronger the further down range you travel. So when these guys take their shots, it's rough. Now the chaff is being bled though with those Vicar pulls, but again, it's 3 Vicars survived that fight, and the bulk, the most important part of the Zerg army, the Bactylis, are untouched. He just lost chaff. It's going to come down, I think, to an artillery duel, and so far, Krankendow has lost the first salvo.
So we've got a Zorka's Shroud coming up as well for the Zerg. He's on 3 base. Crank is just getting his third base open. And yeah, it looks like the Zerg army is more than 5 times the size of the Escozy army right now. We do have tier 2 pumping though, which is going to help with those pool units. The Aphorist does quite a lot of damage to unarmored units and has safe splash with decent range. It's quite a bit more expensive.
It is safe splash or unsafe?
It is safe. It is safe splash.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
like the Vicar.
Unlike the Vicar is the bread and butter, and the Aphorist is what goes with bread and butter. Looks like we have.
Well, it looks like these grandstands being built will absorb quite a bit of punishment from the Zeths, although they also die in the process. Grandstands are pretty good towers, kind of like Orc towers in Warcraft 3. Forgive me, Pro, for mentioning that accursed game, but it is true. They have very good damage density. They're kind of tanky. And you can, it's really good to have a dense tower that can shoot up and down.
Yes, their only true weakness, I would say, is the Zeths. The Zeths tear Escozy buildings apart like paper. Zeth run-bys are pretty difficult to deal with, which is why Crank's
Another big fight here.
Now, Crank does have the high ground position, at least on this ramp, and Hamster's aware of it. It looks like he's going to cycle his army back to be in a stronger position. Now,
looks like he's waiting on some reinforcements.
The Zoryus are quite a problem. They're very good against the Escozy. It's a 3 armor unit. They provide the speed buff when they do land a hit. It does look like the Escozy does need to increase their production right now. Still sitting on 3 Radex, going up to 3 Proscenium. Currently on 3 base. Nice defensive chantry.
Scouting Ovaleth here sees the tech. I don't know if he sees the production though. I don't even know if he needs to necessarily since he saw the army. This Crank is betting a lot on these grandstands holding the ground, but again, the Bactyl count is terrifying here. I worry for our little Ascosi. Now, if he seizes the high ground and baits Hamster into a commit onto the base while attacking him from the high ground, I feel like he can hold this.
Nice
Let's see, though. It's going to come down to the execution.
We have an attack.
So we have
much bigger than my monitor, but there is so much Zerg. We've got some nice pulls. And it does.
It's happening. I think Crank is pulling it off. He did exactly what I said. He baited the attack into the grandstands, knowing that they'd hold against the chaff, while picking apart the vital targets from the high ground. Now he's given up the high ground, which is allowing these Bactylists to get brutal shots in. Ooh, right at the tail end there, dropping the ball. And now the Bactylists are going to be able to range down this third base, and I think that might be it for a Ascosi player. Unless he can pull a rabbit out of the hat, we have just a stream of lings flooding, but the Zerg pulls back. Why? Only God knows. So tell me, Wheat, God.
Yeah, I can't speak for him, but if he was here, I think that he would point out that fate looks like it's quite sealed for our Ascosi player. I will say that he does have a bestiary just about to come up. Doranin is a must-have unit against the Zerg, and it can swing fights, but the army size is currently 104 military units to 20 as Hamster
Crank really Crank is really showing his Zerg background. He has like 4 or 3 units queued in each of these buildings. That's so many resources that could be other production. It hurts. Hold me.
Well, spiritually holding you, but I will say that it is kind of demonstrating that Ascosi is kind of a newer race. They take a little bit of getting used to. I find them to be decently strong against Zerg once you kind of figure out that ebb and that flow. But unfortunately, Hamster perhaps had a feeling that Crank wasn't going to push the issue. He was able to get his economy up in such a way that the Zerg is feeling unstoppable right now. Tech-wise,
we have 37 Bactyls on the field.
37 Bactylists and a Khazithrith.
A Khazithrith. That's what he was really waiting for. Hamster's bespoke move is the Khazithrith drop, and I feel like he delayed things just so he could show it off. But basically, this army is now unapproachable. Everything will be splashed. The Doronin are here, but it doesn't matter. There is just superior firepower in all directions, and there's the GG.